Hey everyone, hey. How y'all doing? Yeah. Um, every morning I set my alarm clock for 9/11 so I never forget. That joke has a twin, but I have to wait 17 minutes to do it, otherwise it won't land. And all this crumbles. Nah, we'll circle back later for greater impact. I really did want to write some jokes about the recent struggles that the airline industry's been having, but I thought, nah, I'll just wing it. The author Malcolm Gladwell wrote a chapter in a book y'all didn't read about how 7 things consecutively have to happen for a plane to crash. And I thought, yeah, 737, 747, 757. That's just Boeing's company catalog. That's all that is. Easy read. It's big things been happening for me. Big things been happening for me this year. I got a house. Take that, boomers. Take that. All right. Well, I'm renting, and boomers own the house. So literally, take that, boomers. Take that. you know. It's been great. The realtor we've been working with is really great, and I think she's glad to have us as tenants because the previous people that used to live in the house were 4 baseball players from UNCG. And I've never been so certain in my life that I'm living in a crime scene. I feel like they roofied the faucets. The water makes me sleepy. On a breezy day, you can get a nice cocaine buzz still. This is true. On the first day that we lived there, we found human remains. That's true. The first day, it's a long story, but it's true. The first day we lived in the house, we found human remains. And I have no idea who they belong to. And that never happens to me. I cover my tracks thoroughly. Trunk of my car is spotless. I moved in with my girlfriend. Y'all don't know her. She goes to a different comedy club. But things have been going great, and over dinner the other night, she told me that she had never had a broken bone. And I looked her dead in the eye and I said, yet. Relax, don't worry, she's here and she's laughing, right? Relax, I don't listen to Chris Brown. Anyway, I don't listen to podcasts either. I don't watch the UFC. So it's safe to say I'm good with science. Like, I believe in science, right? Doctor tells me to get a shot, I get the shot, right? But anytime I get a vaccine, I always think to myself, I could do heroin. I mean, like real heroin too, like heroin classic, red can heroin, right? Like the type of heroin that keeps Kentucky voting for Mitch McConnell, like that's a good idea. Like not the fake heroin that's gonna make me think it's a good idea to go see Jelly Roll in concert. He does seem delightful, though. He seems delightful. Oh, hey, how come when I'm driving, I always see signs for slow children at play and not academically gifted children? I wrote a joke about abortion. Don't know if I'll keep it. I think everyone deserves to be seen and recognized and called by their preferred terms. I like that. I'm very progressive in that matter. That's why I'm already prepared for when the Hebrews start calling themselves they brews. I told that joke to one of my friends, and he said, hey, man, I guess like in light of recent events, you're going to cut back on the they brews joke. And I said, the hell I will. I'm going to say it even more, man. I'm just going to chase it with a poop joke to kind of soften the blow. And the stool, as it were, and the stool. A little bit about me. I'm from Burlington originally. It's a small town, about 25 mistakes that way. And we didn't really have things like comedy clubs or open mics or culture. In fact, like in recent years, we're probably best known for building a shopping center where we put a Dick's Sporting Goods beside a BJ's Warehouse. For convenience, right? Like, we literally built a meme and didn't get the joke. Just didn't get it, right? You could have put a Jiffy Lube and a Handy Hugo's gas station in the parking lot, and we still wouldn't have gotten the joke, right? We'd have just been like, fresh pair of Nikes, 48-pack of toilet paper, get your car fixed. That's a Burlington Saturday, right? That's action-packed start to finish. If you get done in time, you can visit one of the city's 13 Biscuitville's. Maybe even all of them. Make it a challenge. I don't know. But both sides of my family have lived in that area since before the Civil War, and for that very reason, I never want to do the Ancestry.com, DNA, any of those things. Right? You know what I mean? Like, I knew 3 of my grandparents, and that was one too many. And I'm not going to benefit in the slightest by knowing more about people born before 1916. You know what I mean? Right? Like on my dad's side of the family, I don't really know anything at all. But on my mom's side of the family, I do know a little bit. Like, for instance, I know that we're related to the Wright brothers. So in a way, if you think about it, I'm kind of responsible for 9/11. And we're back. I think it's good we can come out tonight, you know, and share a laugh, have a little giggle, a tee-hee, if you prefer. Because outside, you know, things are pretty crazy right now, you know. We got billionaires going into space just because they can. They're NASA's biggest challengers since, well, I mean, right? We had another Kennedy run for president because that family can't take a fucking hint. California got one, Texas got one. It certainly feels like Florida is overdue. Maybe he takes a slow turn around Cinderella's castle. Is Goofy in the 6th floor with a sniper rifle? I think so. But we're living in really divisive times right now. Everyone's just kind of backed into their own corner, ready to come out swinging. You know, I think like this, and fuck you if you don't. You know. And I grew up in the 90s when there was a lot of rivalries within the music industry. So I just thought my generation learned to pick sides from that and just carried that mentality forward with everything. Right? You had like Nirvana versus Pearl Jam, Biggie versus Tupac. That was a no-win situation. And a real rap beef, Drake. You had Britney fans versus Christina fans. Some people liked NSYNC, and some people were just fucking wrong. But I think, you know, if we're going to heal the division in this country, we're going to have to talk about January 6th. We're going to have to hit that one head on. Talk about that. That's the day that the middle ground just eroded away to nothing, right? January 6th is the day you got to pick a side, good versus evil. You're either with us or against us. January 6th, that's the day, right? January the 6th, right? January 6th. January 6th, 1975, because that's the day that Wheel of Fortune debuted on American television to challenge Jeopardy for the game show crown. That's how I see the world. You're either a Jeopardy person or a Wheel of Fortune person, right? Family Feuds for Italians. That's how I see the world. And look, I know I made some car rides home a little awkward. That's on me. I got to live with that. But just think about it, right? Which group of people do you think knows the periodic table of elements, and which group drinks a lot of Mountain Dew? Which group do you think knows all the state capitals, and which group has a favorite vape flavor and puts ketchup on everything? The favorite vape might be ketchup. You don't know. Science is crazy. One more. Which group do you think can list every World Series winner, and which group do you thinks Y can never be a vowel because letters ain't gender fluid? Look, man, you got 5 vowels, E, I, and O, and that is it. And like Jeopardy all the time sends people to like the Galapagos or like Alaska, or I hate those categories. But like Wheel of Fortune just puts up a backdrop that says, howdy y'all, it's Texas week, even though they're still filming the show in Burbank, because those dum-dums don't know, right? Now I'm obviously a Jeopardy person, right? Like abundantly so. But I think I like watching Wheel of Fortune more for that sense of hopelessness and existential dread that Pat Sajak always had when they came back from commercial break, where it'd be like, we're back, and still doing this shit. She doesn't even have to flip the letters around anymore. This is the best thing I ever saw in that program, right? First contestant spins the wheel. T. No T's. Second person spins the wheel. T. Even louder. Still no T's. Third person spins the wheel. Why? And Sajak said, I ask myself that every day. That's the best thing I have ever seen, and I've seen the Dave Matthews Band twice. That's the best thing I've ever seen on TV, right? I thought he was going to kill himself on national TV. Just take one of the pegs off the wheel straight into the temple, man. I thought it was over. Right? You realize that dude fought in Vietnam, right? That dude was in Vietnam. And I bet he regrets winning that Russian roulette tournament that got him on that last chopper out of Saigon. Spinning a different wheel, you know? It's just that you have to know things to be on Jeopardy, right? Trivia, basic facts, and things like that. You barely need to know the alphabet to be on Wheel of Fortune. You go with 18 of the letters, right? Remember Wordle, when that was stealing everybody's data? You had to go in cold with that, just a cold guess. But if you get to the final of Wheel of Fortune, they give you R.L. Stine to go on. You don't even need to know that, right? I will say this, though. You don't have to be that smart to host Jeopardy, because this is true. One of Alex Trebek's doctors was failed Senate candidate Dr. Oz. Ooh. I'm going to take karma for 2,000 on that one, Alex, and make that a true daily double. I don't get why we're so divided, because I think the country has one common enemy, and that's autocorrect. This is my favorite autocorrect story. One day my mom sent me a message, don't remember what it was, but I was going to respond in the affirmative with the 3-letter word, yup. And then I typed in YU, and autocorrect's number one suggestion was Yugoslavia. Now, my Jeopardy people will be quick to point out, not a country since 1992. How frequently is Yugoslavia getting typed that every time I type YU, it became the number one thing? So that became a thing between me and my mom. So anytime she would ask me a question like, you coming home this weekend? Yugoslavia. Did you see the game? Yugoslavia. Which country came into being after World War I to unite the people of Serbia, Croatia, and Slovenia? Yugoslavia. Thanks, y'all. I've been JT. Everybody enjoy.